أبيه شجاعة. A warrior who inherited from his father bravery. So Amir al-Mu'mineen people were concerned in his presence. So I receive the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In return, I need to show the people my love towards Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. So the discussion is regarding what? The discussion is regarding our perception of leadership. And there's types of leadership. I'll discuss this in other nights, inshallah. Number two, we saw that there was also always a level of dedication in which the Imams alayhim salam showed on the battlefield. Let me tell you exactly what I mean before salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Now, for example, if you want muscles, where do you go to? Who knows? Where do you go? Gym time. Also gym time. But when I want to come up with an idea, for example, let's say that moment of truth, by the way, moment of truth. Let's say, for example, we discuss the life of Hercules, or the life of who else do you have? You have Hercules, you have Tarzan. These are people who come off as warriors in American mythology. And how did they become like this? How did Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam become Imam al-Hussein? How did Rasulullah become who he was? What do we like that they don't have? Mawarid al-fikriyah, resources of thinking. Allah knows the Quran, he comes to Rasulullah, he tells him, istaqim kama umirt. He tells him, walk straight, as I told you to. Fatima al-Zahra was known to walk like the Prophet of Islam, sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. And the idea there was that you need to walk on the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You need to walk on the road of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Istaqim kama umirt is telling you that in today's society there isn't much resources in which you can derive pure ideology. Islam is pure ideology, pure thoughts which are untainted by the West, for example, and their arrogant styles. A mentality which is not limited by the status quo, which is not limited by your own personal agendas or your own personal styles. From where do I get the pure source? Of course, Allah and Ahlul Bayt, I agree. And Imam Mahdi, I understand this. But be practical. Because today, where do our youth resort to? They resort to, for example, singers. They resort to, for example, pop culture. They resort, for example, to athletes. But who is my role model on a realistic level? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to know. Not only does He want to know, but your results are going to become apparent. So what are the resources which Islam has given us? On a theoretical level, you have hadith and you have Quran. On a individualistic level, you have self-purification and you have ulama and maraja. But does Islam say anything about the future? Does Islam say anything about 50 years down the line? Does Islam have anything to do with governance, with authority? Of course it does. Islam comes and speaks to us about a Quran which is social. There's a social Quran. There is the Islamic alternative. There is the completion of Eid al-Ghadir, where Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam, Rasulullah raises his hand and he says, Man kuntu mawlahu fahada aliyun mawlah, Allahumma wali man walah. Nobody has a perfect Islam except for the lovers of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. Some stopped short. You have Ismailism today in the world. You have, for example, in addition to this, you have those who also halted at Zaydis after the fourth Imam. Some went too far, extra, too much. Too much is real. You also have people who said that there is no Imams, like the Ahmadis. The focus is on the Prophet. Allah said 12. Why 12? Why the number 12? Because 12 is the number which existed in Christianity. Complete shock. 12 is the number which existed in Judaism. 12 is the number which existed in the Bible and the Torah. The Quran didn't come and bring random numbers. It's not a button. It is divine planning. It is divine calculation. It is divine knowledge. Ilm ilahi. Ilm of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which came and said that I need the same flavor in Christianity, in Judaism, in Islam, to make it clear that when the Mahdi does come, he comes with the sword of Ali ibn Abi Talib. He comes with the ring of Solomon, and he comes with the cloak. He comes with so on and so forth. Why? To tell you that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands, Al-Yawm akmaltu lakum dinakum, today I completed your religion, that Christianity is a piece of the puzzle. Judaism is a piece of the puzzle. These are facts. We have to accept them. Even if our ego doesn't accept it, your mind should have this as well. So what I mean is that on the 10th of Muharram, you had ignorance versus knowledge. You had humility versus arrogance. You had the pious versus the impious. You had also the angels versus the demons on the side of Zainab. You heard the buzzing of salawat, the buzzing of namaz, the buzzing of salah, the buzzing of tasbih, and taqdees of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, glorification of the Lord subhanahu wa ta'ala. On the other side you heard music. On the other side you heard vilification of Bani Hashim. On the other side you heard death threats coming towards Sukaina, death threats coming towards Ruqayya, the death threats coming towards Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas alayhi salam. But Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas, he also showed to us what promises were kept and what promises were not kept. Who died and who was truly alive. Because today, we have a rigid way of looking at things. The dead loses, the alive wins. Karbala demystified this concept. Imam al-Hussein died, but he's still alive. Also, who won and who lost? And that's why I remember when Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam is leaving this world, he comes to his children and he looks at Hassan, tells him, Ya Hassan, it's as if I see you vomiting your liver because of the poison of your wife. Oh Hussein, I see Shimr sitting on your chest, beheading you while you leave the world. He then turns to Zainab, and it is said that everyone begins to cry when the name of Zainab is mentioned. Why? Because in Medina, Zainab was a princess. Zainab was some kind of a queen. Zainab was some kind of an icon amongst the women and men, and amongst the past generations and future and current generations. Zainab alayhi salam, he turns to her and he tells her, it's as if I see your cheeks being slapped by hands of foreigners. Oh Zainab, it's as if I see you taken as a prisoner of war to Sham and Kufa. Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam never let this issue go, and that is why when Zainab was in the tents after the martyrdom of Abu Abdullah, she sees a shadow coming closer to her. The shadow asks Zainab, "Oh Zainab, why are you alone? Who is there with you?" She tells him, "Ya hadha, aqsim alayka bil-Rabb alladhi ta'buduh, la tu'adhini." Whoever you are, I don't know, I can't tell who you are as of now, but I tell you, don't harm me. I am Zainab, daughter of Ali, daughter of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam. The shadow comes closer, she begs and begs again, until Amir al-Mu'mineen says, "It is I, Ali." She tells him, "Father," she also asks him, "Where were you? Where was Ali? Where is Ali? Where were you when they beheaded Hussein? Where were you when they severed the arms of Qamar al-Ashir Abbas? Where were you when they pierced the neck of Ali Asghar? Where were you when they turned off the moon of Qasim?" إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. إلهنا بغربة الحسين وعطش الحسين ووحدة الحسين في كربلاء اقض حوائجنا. Answer our du'as, Ya Allah. Yassir umurana, make our affairs easy and flowing and smooth. إلهنا بالحسين عجل لوليك الفرج. Hasten the appearance of our Imam Sahib al-Zaman. And to answer our du'as and to hasten the appearance of Imam Sahib al-Zaman, we say Surah Al-Fatiha before the loudest of your salawat ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.
Ya Hussein, 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 Ya Hussein.